everybody. Welcome to today's meeting of Fresno City Toastmasters. I am Chanel West, the current club president. I'm going to read our mission statement to start the meeting off. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which our members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, which results in greater self-confidence and personal growth. A couple of quick housekeeping things for those who are on Zoom. Please remember Zoom etiquette and keep yourself muted unless you are speaking. And then also during table topics time, if you would like to unmute, if you're in a quiet environment, you may do so. And for those of us who are here in person, we do have a restroom in there if anybody needs to use it. And thank you, as always, to Michael Wu for allowing us to use his facility. A couple of upcoming announcements for those who are not on the board is that on January 25th, which is 2 weeks from today, we are going to be having an open house for Fresno City Toastmasters. It will be at our regular meeting times between noon and 1, and you'll be able to join on Zoom or come here in person like always, but we're hoping that every one of our current members can invite at least one new person who hasn't been a part of Toastmasters before to come to the open house to try to grow our club and get the word out. So I sent out a flyer to all of our members yesterday via email, and feel free to share that as much as you can, as much as you want to. You can use social media, you can send it to people that you know, and just help spread the word about our event. Will be on the 25th. And then the second thing is on February 8th, which is 2 weeks after the 25th, we'll be having our club speech contest. This is a part of the annual Toastmasters speech contest. It starts at the club level, and then whoever wins at the club level will advance to the area level, and then on to division, district, and so forth, all the way up to world championships if you get that far. Our club is going to be offering the international speech contest, which is a 5 to 7 minute speech of an inspirational nature. I'm planning on participating and giving a speech. I would love to have some competition. So if any of you would like to prepare a speech for that and participate in the speech contest, that would be really great. Just email myself or any of the board members and let us know. So those are our announcements for today. Let's make sure that we have everybody down on the agenda.
And would Emerson like to pick up probably the easier role would be odd counter, because I know we have a double role on Heather on that.
Yeah, would you like to do that, Emerson? Yeah. Okay, wonderful.
Awesome, thank you.
And then I sent out the potluck sign up sheet yesterday. If somebody didn't get that, then please just let me know. Just let me know in the chat and I'll add you to the email on that for those that are going to at least show up in person.
Yes, for the open house. Thank you, Joey. Okay, we'll transition into the meeting time then. I'm also the Toastmaster for today. Welcome, everyone. I am going to introduce our topic real quickly, which is laughter is the best medicine. So if anybody has any jokes or stand-up comedy routines that they want to practice, feel free to just come up and take the podium. We also don't have any speeches scheduled, so there's lots of time for that if anybody would like to. Personally, not my greatest strength. Before we transition into the time or the general evaluator to introduce the evaluation team, though, we're going to do a quick officer induction. So Heather Davis has recently come onto our club board to be our VP of Public Relations, which we're super excited about to have some more help and to have somebody take that over. So I'm not doing like rules. So, Heather, we will call you up to the virtual podium and to do the induction. So each officer of our club is obligated to do the following. Number 1, attend monthly club executive committee meetings. Number 2, attend club officer training held twice a year. And number 3, prepare a successor for his/her respective office, ideally. And the next election time will be held in June, I believe, for the next year. So for VP of Public Relations, and I apologize, I haven't done this before. Do I just read this, or does Heather repeat after me?
I think you just read it. And then the person will just say, I do, or whatever, like they're getting married. Again.
Again.
Okay, she's got that part now. All right. So Heather, as VP of Public Relations, you will do the following. You attract visitors to the club through free publicity, use a variety of means to promote the club, enlist your fellow club members in public relations activities, providing them with promotional materials and ideas for inviting guests, regularly recognize member achievements with methods such as announcements, newsletters, emails, and articles that you may submit. So VP of Public Relations, Heather, will you perform these duties to the best of your abilities?
I will.
Okay.
Yay.
So now, club officer, your officer team has just pledged to serve this club to the best of its ability, to be the best Toastmasters club possible, and to meet the needs of all its members. You pledge to work together with the officer team to make Fresno City Toastmasters the best Toastmasters club that it could possibly be.
I do.
Okay. By the authority vested in me as club president, it's my sincere pleasure to declare this Toastmaster officer installed in her respective office. Please join me in welcoming Heather Davis officially to the team.
Yay.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Okay, and with that, I will pass the podium over to our general evaluator for today to introduce the evaluation team, who is Denny Nixon.
So a quick request.
Yes.
You can't see me on the camera there because I would have to sit here.
Let's fix
I will, how
that.
about Denny, you come up and I'll move it.
You are.
There we
Oh,
are.
there he is.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Sarah, you get the award for best background today, definitely. I like that.
And lighting too. Her lighting's good.
Yeah, very nice, all the way around. You look good. I like that. We have an evaluation team today. We're only doing tabletop, well, I shouldn't say only, but we're doing table topics today, no speeches. So we're still going to use our evaluation team to do the following roles. I'm going to introduce our grammarian of the day. And I have down here Monica, is that right?
I have changed to Heather.
Thank you, Heather. You get to be the grammarian today.
Thank you, Denny. So for those of you who don't know, as a grammarian, I have a word of the day for you all to hopefully fit into whatever speech table topic you have. And today you can find the word in the chat. It is humorous, since laughter is the best medicine. And the definition of humorous is causing a lighthearted laughter and amusement, comic, or showing a sense of humor. So if you can try and fit that in, I will keep track of it. And at the end of the meeting, I will let you all know who is able to fit that in. I'll pass it back to Denny.
Heather, that was great. Okay. Our next person is our counselor, Emerson. Would you like to come up, Emerson, and just give us a little? And you do look seriously funny with that mask.
Oh, I know I do. It's part of the humor. So as the odd counter, my role is to, I believe, count the odds in people's speeches and also words that would, in the times of anxiety, be filler words such as or double use of words. And I think there's a few others, but I think that any words that are intended to fill awkward gaps between people's speeches, I will count those and give suggestions at the end of the meeting.
Very good. Thank you, Emerson, right here.
Yeah.
Right. Very good. And our timer, Sarah Dawson.
Thank you, Denny. As a timer today, I get to time each of the speeches. We don't have any prepared speeches. Normally those are 5 to 7 minutes. We just are going to be doing table topics. Those are 1 to 2 minutes. I will give you a green light when you get to 1 minute. I'll give you a green cup, light, whatever. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, you'll get a yellowish orange sticky note. And at the end of your 2 minutes, you will get a red paper. And that will let you know what your time is. Back to you, Denny. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. That's perfect. It seems like we need to do an emergency kit of red, yellow, green, and just carry it. And our Zoom master, Joey Meyer.
Thank you, Danny. Yep, I will be, as I've been doing, focusing up on whoever's speaking. And with table topics, it's nice. We'll probably zoom in for whoever's speaking at that time. But I always like to be able to see everybody during table topics, get to see all your beautiful, bright, shining faces as we do that. So we'll see kind of how that goes. But I will be manning the video, zoom in, zoom out type stuff. And that's what we'll be doing.
Very good, Joey. Thank you very much. And we're going to bring this back to our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. We do not have any speeches scheduled for today, so before launching into table topics, I'll just put it up for one last time. If anybody wants to get up and do a joke or comedy routine, anything like that, last call, you're gonna miss out if you don't speak now. No? Okay.
I have a dad joke.
Do it, Mike.
Here we go.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, let me throw, what is a couple? This is a joke from my daughter, actually, but why did the skeleton burp? Because he didn't have the guts to fart.
Ah.
Okay.
Good one.
I'll give you one more horrible dad joke. What should you give to a sick lemon?
Lemonade.
Lemonade. Thank you, Joey. Thank you very much. All right.
Someone
Thanks,
clearly
Mike.
is a dad.
That is clearly a dad joke. I thought it was hilarious. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, that's a good one.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. So with that, I will hand the podium over to Joey to lead us in our table topics today.
Thank you, Miss Chanel. And for those of you who can also do your little stand-up comedic with be a little bit humorous with your table topics here. The way we're going to play it today is more of a blind table topics. I have a sheet of 365 table topics questions. And just to give you an idea of what these questions are, there's nothing like what's the meaning of life or anything like that. For an example, what life lesson did you learn the hard way? Another one, is it more important to love or be loved? And then last one, shoot, let's go into the 200s here. What will you never give up on? That's a sampling of what some of these questions are. So there's 365 of these. And what I'm going to do is you can either pick a number between 1 and 365, or we can do the old random number generator. So just tell me, let's just pick the number for me. And I have a random number generator here on the old search engines. And I'll just let that happen. That'll pick it for you, like playing Russian roulette, but without any bad things happening. And that'll do it for you. So volunteer is going to be step number 1. And then step number 2 is you're going to choose either a number or let the random number generator do the dirty work for you. So anybody want to jump? Sarah, you want to do it? Or Chanel?
No, I didn't raise my hand.
You didn't raise your hand? Oh, Sarah. Sarah, did you?
Oh, I guess I did, but I thought Denny spoke up, so I was going to let her go. But I'll go first. Go.
Okay. So what do you want to pick your number, or you want the random number generator to do it?
258, please.
258. All right. You're going to make me scroll all the way right down to 258. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Your question is, what is the one primary quality you look for in a significant other? One more time, what is the one primary quality you look for in a significant other? Take it away, Sarah.
I thought you said it wasn't like the meaning of life questions. This is pretty close. I think the thing that if I could only pick one, there's so many that you would want to choose from, but I think the one that would be the absolute most important to me would be that he is a godly man, like somebody who truly serves God and loves him with all of his heart and wants me to do the same and is encouraging. I think there's a lot of things that would come with that in being able to serve God. I think there are some people who just go to church, which is fine, but I think I want somebody who actually digs more into scripture and is truly, I don't know, just a godly man who has become gentle because of who he is in Christ. And so I think that's it. Thanks. I was trying to expand that out, but I didn't know how to make that any longer, Denny.
Short, simple, and sweet. Thank you for sharing, Sarah. All right, Denny, did you say you were trying to get that hand up? Yes, there she comes. Did you want to choose your number, or do you want the random number generator to do it?
300.
300. All right, well, that's not too bad from Sarah's number. 300. Oh, great one. What is your favorite sound? One more time. What is your favorite sound and why?
I grew up in a big city. Then I moved to Los Angeles, a bigger city. And I love the sound of silence. I had to drive to Forest Lawn in Los Angeles, the cemetery, up on a mountain where there's a beautiful mausoleum-looking building. When you get all the way up to the top, you can still hear the freeway. So there's also a little chapel at Forest Lawn, and if you go inside the chapel, there's actually silence in Los Angeles. It's the only place I could find that was completely quiet. Here, I drive up to Dunlap, and I go to the monastery. There is a monastery in Dunlap. And up in the mountains in Dunlap, it's actually quiet, silent, beautiful. It's like this. It's totally quiet. And I just feel at peace. It gives me strength to go on for the rest of the week.
I love that, Denny.
Mhm.
That's I agree with you on that one. That's probably, I'd have a similar answer as you. Very nice. Anybody else want to volunteer? Heather.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to pick your number, or you want the calculator to do it?
Yeah, I think the 171 is in my head. Let's see what comes up with that.
171. All right. Let's see here. Let's spin the wheel. 171. Interesting. Is the reward worth the risk? And you can take this and go with it however you want, but is the reward worth the risk?
That's a tough question. I think it really depends on what it is that you're hoping to receive at the end of the day. And I've had a few situations where, yeah, the reward was definitely worth the risk, putting myself out there. I live by the mantra that you'll never know unless you ask. But on the other hand, too, I've been burned as well, and the reward wasn't worth the risk. So I think at the end of the day, I just have to ask myself what it is that I want. The adventurous person in me is always like, yeah, let's try it, let's do it. So yeah, I think that the reward is worth the risk. And I don't know what else or how else to answer that. So that is my answer for today.
Very good, Heather. Very good. I always frame that one with my kids in fire first, aim second, or aim first, fire second. So there's like two types of people. And when you talk about that risk reward thing, it's interesting to run into people that are fire first, aim second, and then the other people that aim first, fire second. Very interesting. All right, anybody else haven't gone yet? Mike, Emerson, we can go?
Yeah.
All right, do you want me to pick the number, or do you want the calculator to pick it, or do you want to pick it?
I'll pick 7.
7. Lucky number 7. All right, let's bring up 7. Do you ask enough questions, or do you settle for what you know? One more time. Do you ask enough questions, or do you settle for what you know?
Mr. Toastmaster, I would say that I don't ask enough questions where I should ask more questions. I have been guilty of assuming the position of those around me too often, and that gets me into trouble. As I look back at the history of my life, many times I have done that. I've jumped to conclusions, which has caught me with my foot in my mouth. And so now I have learned to be more patient, to hear people out, to remove the preconceived notions, and to listen to people. Because half the time I'm wrong when I try to assume I understand people. And I never try to project somebody's memory, perhaps a bad memory of a former person, onto a new person, which is another mistake I've made. So I'm becoming a better listener for the sake of a happier life. And to conclude, I'd like to tell a joke. A man goes to the doctor where he gives him 6 months to live. When he couldn't pay his bill, he gave him another 6 months. That's the joke.
Very nice.
My timing is terrible. I'm still working it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, sounds like Emerson was one of those fire first, aim seconds for a little bit, and then now he's starting to go the other way. All right, who do we have left besides me? We got Mike, Chanel. Oh wait, Chanel, you did one, didn't you?
No, I haven't gone yet.
Haven't. So when do you want to go?
Joy, I will love to go.
All right, your number or the calculator's number, Mike?
Number 9, please.
Ooh, number 9. All right. That's Ted Williams's number.
It's a great number.
Great number. What's a belief that you hold with which many people disagree? One more time. What's a belief that you hold with which many people disagree?
It's kind of a tough question because honestly, I mean, it's easy to kind of go along with everybody, and many people, I try not to step on too many toes. I would shoot for the belief that I have that many people maybe not agree with, or maybe people don't understand well, is the neurodiversity belief. And so many of you, I have special needs children, and so I see their strengths before their weaknesses, and so I see a lot of benefits to the society and how they can participate in this great project of humanity on this planet. And so, but a lot of people see their their physical, they just see their weaknesses, and I don't get angry about that, or it doesn't bother me too much. But I do feel like a lot of people see, a lot of people judge people by, maybe something they did wrong or their weaknesses, and that really drowns out people's strength. And many people have strengths, and many people are able to do the best of their ability, and that the best looks different for different people. And so, and I'm learning how to communicate that more efficiently and explain that better as time goes on. And I think that's mainly due to my understanding of it and how it's matured over the years as my children has matured as well. So it's something that I look forward to trying to explain to people, and as they live it. So
Thank you, Mike. That's an interesting point that you make. Looking at, most of us look at each other's strengths versus the weaknesses. And one of the guys that I read, you all know Albert Einstein, and in the biography that I read on him, they said that he didn't talk until he was like 4 years old. And some argue that he was on the spectrum at some point, but you could argue that the guy had a massive strength in spite of the weakness probably that he had, maybe on the social awkwardness or EQ type of thing. So yeah, you make an interesting point, Mike. Thanks for sharing that.
yeah, history's littered with interesting characters that have all sorts of abnormalities on how they think, and I think that's very important for just the world in general.
Right. Exactly. Cool. Thanks for sharing, Mike. Chanel, do you want to go before me? You want me to jump in?
I will go. Joey, I would like to play Russian roulette.
Hey, there we go. First one. I thought I was going to be the first taker on that. All right. We ready? Number generator, generate 178. Let's see what 178 says. 178 in the 8-ball says, what is your favorite song and why? One more time. What is your favorite song and why? I know you've done a couple speeches on this.
I'm pausing because there's a couple different directions that I could go with this. I like music a lot and spend quite a bit of time listening to it via Spotify. For those of you who have Spotify, it's a music streaming service, I think the most popular one in the world. And pretty much any music ever made is on there. Or you can actually use it for free, but if you want to pay $10 a month, they'll remove the ads. I should say all the music in the world is on there except for Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks, which is a huge loss, right? Garth Brooks has still refused to give his music to streaming services, which is so disappointing. But aside from him, most music ever created is on there. And Spotify at the end of every calendar year will give each user a Spotify Wrapped, and it tells you your most listened to music for the year, which songs, which albums, which artists. So for 2021, my Spotify Wrapped most listened to artist of the year was a guy named Wesley, who probably none of you have heard of. He is a solo piano composer. And I am a big fan of his piano compositions and will listen to them. If I'm working, if I'm studying, I find that music very peaceful. I'm also a pianist myself, and so I think I appreciate it for that reason. And I think he has an album called Dark Night of the Soul, and the title song on that track is Dark Night of the Soul, which I also gave a speech about a couple months ago on that topic. And I believe that is one of my favorite songs ever, a very melodic, minor key solo piano song that seems to have the ability to bring my heart to an almost gut-wrenching place out of thin air. Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Toastmaster.
Love that. I didn't know that Garth Brooks kept himself out of Spotify.
Yeah, the last 3 years, all I've asked for Christmas is for Garth Brooks to put his music on Spotify, but that has not granted me that yet.
He keeps doing all the dive bars. That's why.
Yeah.
Packing in about 100 people like sardines in a dive bar and playing at dive bars. That's what he's doing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess when you're that great, you don't have to put your music on Spotify.
Yeah, he's not doing it for the money, apparently. He's a good dude. All right, I think I'm the last one left. after that, we got a little bit of time, so we can, if somebody else wants to do another couple times through, I'm going to use the old number generator, just like Chanel here. So generate, let's see what we got. 139. Let's go 139. What stands between you and happiness? I thought I said this wasn't going to be a life-changing type question, right? What stands between you and happiness? I think for me, what stands between me and happiness, I mean, we do pretty well. My biggest priorities are God's number one, Jesus, God, family, and then everything else. So if that's baseball, if that's training, if whatever it is, everything else follows. And I feel like over the last 5 years, I've done a pretty good job of juggling. I can always do better. And their outfielders. And I've turned many coaches down in the past just because especially high school baseball system is a grind, or the season is a grind. So you have a practice from 3 to 6, and that's every night. And sometimes they'll go Saturdays. The head coach of a high school baseball team, the wife of the coach, typically is referred to as a baseball widow during the baseball season because she rarely will see her husband during the baseball season. I do not want that. So I did accept it because of a part-time basis. So I said, I don't have the time to be out there all the time, but I can put some time out there. And I told him it's not about the money. I do want to give back. Plus Clovis West, we live right across the street from them. So it's not too far on the travel side of things. And we had our first practice yesterday. This is actually tryout week. So we're going to try it out, and we're going to see how it goes. So I'm only going about 2 to 3 days a week, or nights a week. Yeah, plus all my other stuff that's going on. So I'm actually going a little bit more into taking away from that family time that I would normally have. But that's the one thing I think that gets in the way for me on the happiness side of things, is just juggling obligations. And this is the first time in a while that I've actually eaten into family time a little bit. So we're doing it cautiously, and we'll see what happens this season. All right. Anybody else want to maybe jump in again? I think because we don't have any evaluators, so we might have time for maybe 2 more. Anybody else want to jump back in again?
Like my question.
Heather didn't like her question?
No. Can I do it
try it again? You and Sarah?
But can we do a number generator if that's possible?
Yeah. See, now everybody's doing the number generator. Here we go. All right. Generate. Here we go, Swami. 121. Staying in the hundreds today. 121 is, if you left here we go. Life questions. If you left this life tomorrow, how would you be remembered?
Ooh.
One more time. If you left this life tomorrow, how would you be remembered, Heather?
I like to think that I would be remembered as someone that was kind and had a big heart. Growing up, I felt like that odd man out. Like I had friends, but I wasn't really best friends with anyone. I just was always very friendly. And because of that, I never felt like a close connection with a lot of people until growing up. And I developed those relationships and those friendships more with friends and professionals and people of that nature. So I like to think that my kindness is what I would be remembered for. I strive to be, someone that is a believer, someone that is that guiding light for other people, because I know what it's like to be lost. And so that's what I hope that I am remembered for, is just my kindness and someone that was just willing to be there for someone. Yeah, so that's what I like to think I'd be remembered for.
Great answer, Heather. Great answer. And Sarah, did you want to go? Want to be our caboose on this one? Did you raise your hand or no?
I did, yeah. Unless somebody else really wants to go, I would love to.
Go for it. All right, okay. Close us out. Did you want the number generator? Or do you want to pick another number?
If it makes you happy to do random generator, I'd be happy to take that one.
Okay, I'll do it. Here we go, Swami, random number generator. What do we got for us? 149. What's going on here? All the random numbers are in the hundreds. 149. Oh, kind of have an idea where you're going to go with this, but who do you trust and why? Who do you trust and why, Sarah?
I think you probably thought I was going to go for the Jesus answer, and I absolutely do trust him 100%. That's just a given. But I will say that I trust, well, there's several people I do, and I trust people for different reasons too, because there's some people that I'll trust for this particular thing, and I'll trust for this particular thing. I think I have 4 friends that I absolutely trust that if I call them, they will drop whatever they were doing to be able to pray with me, to do whatever that's going to do, and to call me out. I actually just, when I'm just not being kind or good or nice or whatever. That actually happened at Christmas time. My best friend was in town and I was being super grumpy with my parents. And so as we're driving along after we just got done, she said, what was that all about? And just totally called me out and told me. And so I realized, I'm like, oh, I am not being very kind or loving or godly at this point. And so I absolutely trust my friends to do that for me, and absolutely necessary. Thank you.
Great one, Sarah. It's nice that you have friends that can poke you when you're kick you under the table.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, thanks everybody for sharing. I think that went pretty well. And anybody that's interested in that piece of table topics, let me see if I can put this in the chat here, the link for anybody that's interested in doing a recap of that. When they're table topics master, I'll just put that link in there. You just click that. I think I just put in table topics questions or something like that, and it came up on, or 365 table topics questions for Toastmasters, and it just comes up. So for whatever reason, this link doesn't work. So I will throw the podium back over to, I think, our general evaluator, right? Denny?
Yep. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Good job, everybody. I enjoyed listening to all of those. Sarah in a bad mood. I want to see that someday. Okay. Grammarian, Heather, how did we do today?
Sorry, 3 screens. Honestly, I only got Joey. I didn't hear anyone else say humorous, but that's okay. We'll just try again next week. So in case I missed anybody, let me know. But as far as I know, Joey was the only one.
All right. Good job. Thank you. And our odd counter is Emerson. Come on in. Mm-hmm.
I think we did well overall. I saw that, I heard that Joey Myers, it said first cursed during his speech. Chanel said there, and I. Heather had 4 uhs, Mike had 5, and I had 1. But overall, we did well.
Very good. I'm going to shake your hand. Thank you.
All right, real quick, Denny, I got to head out. So on the scheduling, I think I'm scheduled for a speech. Hopefully I may or may not be able to, because I'm super busy now with everything, but just wanted to wish everybody a happy week, and we'll see you on the next week.
Okay, very good, Joey.
Bye, Joey. Thanks.
Bye. Do I need to shift the hosting over?
You can give it back to us. To Fresno.
Okay, so I'll give it to Fresno, Denny's camera, Denny's camera, right? Let's see, make
The one that says Fresno Free.
yeah. All right, I shifted it
And
over.
Joey, 203 for your time.
203, thank you. That's pretty good for me.
It is. Bye.
All right, have a great week, everybody.
Bye. Sarah, you're our timer today. How did we do?
Pretty well, actually. Chanel, you were at 225. Heather, your first one was 50 seconds and your second one was 111. So right on the mark, right over. Joey was 203. Mike, just a little over at 212. Emerson, perfect at 113. I had my first one at 51 seconds and the second one at 108. And Denny, you were at 124.
Ooh,
Right in there. Good job.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. That's great. And I think we did well today at our meeting. As always, we jump in and jump out, and the transitions are pretty easy around here. I really like it. So, and most importantly today, we had a heater in this room. It was awesome. That made the whole meeting better. I'm going to turn this back over to Chanel.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. I'm having a brain blockage as to what I'm supposed to be doing here.
You're gonna
Closing out the meeting. Yes. So, thank you everybody for coming. Rewards, Emerson, sticker to you. I can get you an actual sticker with in the backpack for taking on the role today last minute. Thank you. Thank you everybody else for the roles that you performed. For next week, Joey is giving a speech, so we will need somebody to volunteer to be his speech evaluator. And Denny can do that, okay. And Heather, if you are going to be here next week, I believe, have you still not done Toastmaster? Is that the role that you haven't?
Yeah, I would love to do that. I have not done it yet.
Okay, yes, definitely. Let's get that in then.
And
Right.
Chanel, I won't be here next week, so I can't take anything.
Thanks, Sarah. Emerson, are you planning on
Yeah,
attending?
my first speech, I was hoping to do it. But I'm not part of the pathways.
Okay, you would like to give it next week?
My speech one, please, yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. We can definitely have two. That will be great.
Joey wasn't too sure on.
Yeah, you might not have time. So I'll put myself down as your evaluator.
Awesome.
That's everybody that's here then. Before we adjourn, did anyone have any questions about either the open house or the speech contest that I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting?
For the open house, what will be the format of the meeting for that day? What are we gonna do while we're here?
Sure. So we're going to do about 10 to 15 minutes of an opener, allow people to come in, we'll have some food, can talk, meet people. And then we're going to do our typical meeting agenda, but have a time of, Joey's going to talk a little bit about pathways and what it looks like in Toastmasters. And then we'll do our meeting agenda and have everybody explain the roles like very clearly for people who are familiar with Toastmasters. And then we're going to do a table topics time to allow everybody, all of the guests, to speak if they want to.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
Well, as many as we can in the time period that we have.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Yes. So we're hoping if all of our current club members could bring at least one guest, we would have over 20 people, which would be really cool. We could get to that many. So
Awesome. Very good.
we will see. Yes. Did anybody else have any questions about that? Okay. All right. Wonderful then. Thank you, everybody. I hope that you have a great week, and we'll see you back here next week for 2 speeches, something.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chanel. Bye, Denny. Bye, Emerson. Bye, Mike. Bye, Heather.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye, Mike.